One could tell me that you are making radio an experience by itself when you are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with Sexologist Dr. Raj running of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Yeah.
First of all, I must apologize to those of you who are on social media. We had a little glitch. Well, not we, but my phone died on me, so I had to get another. For some reason, I wasn't getting live on my other phones, but I'm back on now, so I'm thankful for that. We had to take a little break there, but we're back on. During the break, I asked Junior about the cricket, and he didn't have good things to say.
No,
I wonder why.
No, it's like anytime I get involved.
Well, maybe
myself, things are looking bright.
maybe you're the blight. Maybe you should stop getting involved.
No, anytime I say, well, look, no, it's time to kind of back the side, you know.
You know what I
You're a
don't.
cricket fan, but let me ask you, what makes West Indies perform so beautiful for a certain segment or a certain couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden drop off the radar completely?
Mindset and not thinking. They don't think the sport. They like any. I train sportsmen for a number of years, and if you're not mentally there,
Yeah.
you cannot be physically there. Brute force cannot win anything. Brute force alone cannot even win a war unless you have the mental part behind it. And think very carefully what I'm saying. Brute force does not win anything. You might win the battle, but you will not win the war. So segments of the battle you'll win, but you will never win the war. You have to use this always in anything that you're doing. So if you don't apply yourself properly, you're not going to succeed.
It's the same thing as the football. Like, for instance, you remember the years gone by, we drew with the US, the knockouts.
We drew with Mexico already.
We came and we beat USA 1-0. We threw them out of the World Cup. And within a couple of months, they come and give us 6. You know? So...
Well, it's that's the way it is. And when I think about persons, household, husband and wife, family life and all those things, I look at what equates to other things. Again, sexology is being a social anthropologist. You study things, you listen to what people have to say, you read between the lines, you look at the settings of the individuals, the home environment, the husband, the wife, the interaction, how they interact with one another, the comments that they make, the way they look at each other. If you like someone, if you truly appreciate someone, there are little gestures that you will make that will show that, without you saying it. And then on top of that, you will say it. So it strengthens whatever you're having. So when I getting back to the question that you ask, and you watch the gestures of the players, the heart is not into it. They're going through the motion.
Okay, well, I know you're involved, you love cricket, and you're heavily involved in the what's going on in cricket. Don't you think these cricket tournaments that they have, that they offer these players, I mean, they work the amount that they're getting, but do you feel that they look forward more or less of playing in these T20 leagues rather than getting back to the ordinary?
You want me to answer that honestly?
Making the commitment to the team, the West Indies team?
You want me to answer that honestly? Sometimes I don't think that even works that way. Because sometimes I don't see they putting out their all. And that's my honest opinion.
But don't you think that has an effect on what's happening now to West Indies cricket because of these luxuries and?
Yeah, of course it does, and the type of games that they're playing.
Because they won't want to get hurt. I mean, playing. When you really think about it.
Well, I don't think it's getting hurt. I don't think so. I think that the commitment is not there and the heart is not there. So if again coming back to sexology now, think about it from that point of view, family life and whatnot. If you're not committed, and people will measure commitment in different ways. But if you're not committed to your relationship, committed to your partner, your spouse, your home, your family life, your work, dedication to certain things, you are not going to perform well. So there are many times that we become complacent in our relationship. And it's like Saturday could fall on a Monday. It doesn't matter. You have a beautiful wife, you have a handsome husband, but you just don't care when you go to bed if you're looking attractive, if you're smelling attractive, if you're doing attractive things to encourage the person to be physical with you. So eventually what's going to happen? The person is going to distance themselves from you. Or you may start distancing yourself from your partner. So it's the same thing that equates with sport. You distance yourself with sport from sports. You distance yourself from your commitment. And you end up making a fool of yourself. Such is life. I mean, but it's heartbreaking when you see that. When you see that, and when even in family life, when you see people who should know better, you know, there's a popular saying that, show me a beautiful woman and I'll show you a man who's fed up of her, which is so true.
Yeah.
Which is so true.
That's a popular saying.
Because you'll see a very attractive, very sexy, very nice woman, but when you get to know her, you don't want to know her, because you realize why persons or her husband or boyfriend, whoever, don't want to have anything to do with her. Now, some of those things could lead to other things like violence in the relationship and whatnot, because of, you know, this kind of way that we have, that we think we possess something, and we do not want it to, we don't want to share it or lose it or whatever. That's another thing that could happen. But you got to dedicate a portion of yourself, who you are, your integrity and honesty and whatnot, to that relationship. You have to make it work. Many a times I see persons in relationship and they're not putting out to make that relationship work the way it's supposed to work. And that's where the problem lies. If you are not putting out what you're supposed to put out in the relationship, what's going to happen? It's going to falter. It's going to fail. So, I ask the adults in society, and when I do lecture anywhere, if I have an audience, I ask them, first of all, think about what you want best for yourself.
Yes.
Think about what you want best for your spouse, your partner, your lover, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Whatever word you want to use. Doesn't matter the type of relationship. Think about what you want best for yourself and what you want best for that person.
Anyway, folks, taking the turn, it's now 13 minutes before 8 o'clock. You are
Matter the type of relationship. Think about what you want best for yourself.
With Sexologist Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, and there he treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and female. Well, just to remind you, at home, at work, and in your community, think twice, think clean, and go green. Grab the toothpaste brand with the tube without the box. Get your favorite cereal in the resealable bag instead of the traditional bag and box. So before you use things once without thought, reuse. Think twice for a cleaner, greener Trinidad and Tobago. Powered by Swinco, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited, Power 102 FM, and Boom 94, in association with Salo Enterprises, Price Club Supermarket, Trinidad and Tobago Police Credit Union, Bush Mountain TT, and the Gillett Group of Companies. So remember, folks, at home, at work, and in your community, think twice, think clean, and go green.
Are the problems and destructive anxieties of today tearing you apart? If there is ever a time you readjust your priorities and refocus your vision,
On the what?
join Pastor Wayne Sampson on the Vision Flow devotional program every Monday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. right here on Power 102 FM. Jesus is the only one who can give you peace in the midst of today.
Look at this juicy here, boy. Support local industry, yes. They're not buying Pepsi or Coke, they're supporting local. Juicy pineapple.
Are you a karaoke singing champion? Then we've got something for you. Beyond Karaoke returns to Power 102.
That's all kind of.
Visit bars and lounges across the country in search of the best karaoke performers in the island. If you and your crew are the best, come and sing and win. We have prizes for the biggest group, the most entertaining performer, the funniest singer, and the best soca karaoke performer.
This Thursday, we head to the Rice Grill and Bar, Rodney Road, Lunch Park in Chaguanas.
You never know who you might meet. Your favorite Power 102 announcer. They coming too. We liming, singing. We all coming to have a great time. Check out the Power 102 FM website, Facebook, and
When you're
Instagram.
talking, yeah, I just have to find out where you're going.
Karaoke is
Then
on
about
this and every
close to
Thursday
8
at a
o'clock.
bar near you.
Sponsored by Carib. Carib, it's the
And
way
the
we
program
play.
was short, I ain't taking no calls.
The best fine dining
Yeah, I know.
in the East. Lana, the best
But I like the questions coming.
Yeah.
Little Caesars, extreme barbecue chicken pizza.
Target corned beef.
Hearty Food Supermarket and Minix Beauty Services.
Welcome to the event. We are giving our listeners what they want and expect from a good radio program when it comes to sex education, exclusively on Power 102 FM. Sexplosion with Sexologist Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine. Yeah.
Are you investing in your health? Have you joined a gym? Walk in the savannah? Eat the right foods? Have a balanced diet? Taking care of yourself? Making sure that you are performing at your optimum? I've seen instances of individuals who have gotten heart attack, who have ended up in the hospital for some reason or the other, who have some sort of lifestyle disease. Now, if it's in your DNA, it's going to happen to you. There's no getting away from that. But it doesn't mean to say you give up on life and say, okay, whatever happened, and the hell was with that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You still have to take care of yourself. If not for you, but I always say make you first. Then your partner, your family. Make sure you invest that time and effort in it. Now, of course, tonight's program is the abridged version. We have karaoke which starts at 8, so we'll be closing off very soon. But I ask the listeners out there, especially those who are loyal listeners for a number of years, and I like to also hear when we have good new callers. So tomorrow, when we start at 9, send me some questions, ask me questions, and the reason for that, when you ask a question, it opens up my mind and I'm able to actually answer your question, but expand on that question in many ways, in many dimensions. So I'm challenging all the listeners out there, whoever you may be. And I know the regular names, so I know all the regular names. Ask me a question. Make sure you prepare some sort of, it doesn't matter what the question is. Because when I go to do my lectures and whatnot, I leave a portion of my program to open it to the floor.
Yeah.
And would you believe that's the most interesting part of my lectures or my seminars? Because that's when individuals will ask me a question and I could expand into different areas, touch their hearts in many different ways,
And put your mind in
get
motion.
them to understand things from a different perspective. Because a lecture is like reading a textbook. Anybody could buy a textbook and read it. But when you go to a classroom and the lecturer or the professor breaks down what you're reading in that textbook, it makes it easier for you.
Well, of course, yes, it would, yeah.
That's why a good professor is someone who don't use the textbook per se, but teaches you the lessons of the textbook and tell you go out and read the textbook, but this is the interpretation of whatever you're reading or whatever you have read. And that is what makes good teachers. excellent professors are those who will make that textbook interesting. They would take that information that you may consider to be boring and make it interesting, and you will want to learn. So why not? Why don't you do it? This program is supposed to be an interesting program. This program is supposed to be a dynamic program dealing with sex, dealing with things that will have value to you. So why not think about something to ask Dr. Raj on Sexplosion? Put the question forward and wait on the answer. You are going to be delighted with what I have to say. Believe me. But if you leave it for me to just come and sit here, day after day, week after week, month after month, and years after years, talking about things that may or may not interest you, I will get bored. There will come a time when I will get bored. That's why, no, there are some callers who will call and be repetitive. There are some callers who will call and make stupid comments. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking you to actually call and ask questions that can make the program more interesting
and more educational.
And more educational. With that, folks, we have come to the end of our program.
So about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Oh, well, I see you signaling, but I know you. Oh, you signaling because you have to go.
No, I'm right here.
Well, you have to go do what you have to do. Junior has some things to do. So I hope you all understand what I'm asking. In order for this program to have continuity, and a pleasant good evening to our good friend Crazy. Crazy is on. He's looking at the program. And remember, for those of you who are watching on Facebook, hit the like button and the hearts button and whatever else button Prashant does direct you all to hit. I don't know all the buttons. He knows the buttons. It is what will make this program much more interesting tomorrow. I know some of you do like to send me your text messages, and remember my cell phone, my personal cell phone is 740-1961. That number again is 740-1961. That's my personal cell number. You can send me questions there. You can ask me anything on that cell. But it's good when you ask something that I could use on the program. Now, tomorrow's program starts at 9. This program will be ending soon so that we can have our live broadcast. So, what's that? And to all the beautiful, wonderful persons who have joined us on Facebook, thank you very much for your comments. And remember, my personal cell phone number again is 740-1961. Send me your questions, send me your comments, send me things that, if you think that there's something that I can add to the program to make it more interesting, do that. If you think that there's a particular topic that you want to hear about, give me the topic and we can make a program out of that topic. Good night.
Anyway, you've been listening to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with Sexologist Dr. Raj Brahmanan, and don't forget you can rejoin Dr. Raj tomorrow right here on Power 102.1 FM as we do part 2 on a Friday evening from 9 p.m. right here on Power 102 FM.